Good morning and welcome to East Devon District Council's Asset Management Forum on Monday the 16th of June 2025. Apologies for the late start. I'm your chair, Councillor Paul Hayward. I'd like to welcome anyone watching the meeting via video. At the moment we're having some live streaming issues, so the video will be available afterwards. May I remind members that the Code of Conduct applies throughout this meeting. We also reserve the right to remove and disconnect any participant who's disrupting the meeting by whatever means. Please turn off any telephone devices on or off or to silent. I'll do the same. We'll now start the meeting by doing a roll call of forum members here present. Debbie, over to you.
Thanks, Chair. I'll start with yourself, please.
And present, thank you.
Thank you. I can't see Councillors Arnott or Hawkins yet. I'll go to Councillor Jeff Young. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning. I'm here and I've got nothing to declare.
Oh, it's kind of you. Thank you. Moving on to Councillor Todd Olive. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I have nothing to declare and I promise I'm trying to fix my camera.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who's on the call this morning who wants to make any declarations about our items today while we have the opportunity? If you want to wave your hand electronically or physically, I'll take either. Okay, Councillor Hookway.
Just in case, member of Devon County Council.
Thank you very much.
Just in case, Debbie, I'm a member of Sidmouth Town Council, but I've done it before, so I thought I'd do it again for this committee.
Oh, better say member of Exmouth Town Council as well. Sorry, forgot that.
Any more for any more?
Councillor Heath. You are on mute, sir.
That off. There we are. Taken off. I'm a member of Beer Parish Council and there's an item on the agenda that relates to that this morning.
Thank you very much indeed. Councillor Davey, Ollie?
Yeah, member of Exmouth Town Council. I don't know if there's anything relevant on the agenda, but that's it anyway.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for that. George is just joining us now. So agenda item 1, the notes of the previous meeting held on the 3rd of March. You've had those minutes provided as agenda item 1 in your agenda pack. If anyone has a comment on the notes, please raise your electronic hand or gesticulate or by any other means. If I have no hands raised, then I will take that as an indication that we agreed to the notes of the previous meeting. Indeed, members. Councillor Arnott is just joining. I'll wait for Paul to appear. I'll probably be online in a minute. Agenda item 2, apologies. Have we had any sent through, Debbie?
No, we haven't, Chair. Unless anyone else has got any to pass on. Thank you.
No, I can't see any hands raised. Thank you. So declaration of interest, we've sort of covered that earlier. I don't have any declarations myself. Councillor Arnott? Paul? I think we'll ask him the question when he appears. Item 4.
Oh, sorry, Chair. No, nothing. Sorry,
No,
I'm probably in. So sorry, got to look at that face.
Item 4, public speaking. We have no members of the public registered to speak today, so we can move on to item 5, matters of urgency. There are none. Item 6, confidential exempt items. There are none. So we move without further ado to agenda item 7 to be presented by Rob Harrison, the estates team update, which is pages 7 to 10 of your agenda pack. Good morning, Rob. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Morning, everybody. Yeah, this is just a brief sort of run through of some of the things that the activities of the estates team over the past few months. So we start off with an item on the public toilet transfers. There was a number of the public toilets which were transferred to town and parish councils at the end of March. So these were the ones in Budleigh, Salterton, Collerton and King Street in Honiton. They went through at the end of March. There's a few other sites which we're still trying to work out the bits and pieces with potential commercial operators, but generally speaking, the public toilet project in terms of disposals has moved on a little bit since the last meeting. The new workshop units at Redgates in Exmouth, which are coming forward. We discussed this again at the last AMF meeting. I think members were quite interested in progress with those. So we've done a soft marketing exercise in advance of the units being completed, which generated quite significant amount of interest. We had sort of 48 expressions of interest just from a sort of a soft marketing exercise, which is very promising. In the report there, you'll see a photograph of the outside of one of the units, which I'm sure you'll all agree they look pretty smart. So yeah, we're just waiting for the final completion of those units to take place, and then the transfer to the council will be affected, and we can move on and actually start getting some tenants in there. But yeah, we're very nearly there now, I think. So that's probably another promising one. As we mentioned at the last meeting, we had properties going to auction. They were the 2 public toilets at Sidford Cross and Marsh Road in Seaton, and the building in New Street, Honiton, and some land at New Way in Woodbury. So pleased to say that all of those lots sold at auction and generated quite a significant capital receipt of in excess of £230,000. So it's a good result all round on those lots. We're not sure what people's intentions are for those buildings as yet. I'm sure that'll become clear as we move forward. But at the moment, we don't have any indication as to what people's plans are for them. We've got one of our workshop units in Budley Salton, which has become available. We've done some of our compliance works and just given the unit a bit of a tart up to get it in its best shape for marketing. So that one's going to be marketed probably starting this week. We've not really had much in Budley for a long time that's come available, so it's quite a rare opportunity. So it'll be interesting to see what levels of demand we get for that. But we're anticipating quite a lot of interest in it. It's quite a nice unit now, quite a good size. So yeah, we're anticipating getting some good interest in that one. We've recently undertaken the big annual project of the council's asset valuations, significant piece of work, revaluing a significant chunk of the council's property portfolio, and it's all part of the end of year statement of accounts. So yeah, that's a big piece of work with an overall value of the revalued properties of sort of 60 to 70 million pounds. So it's quite a significant chunk of our overall asset value. So it's quite a big piece of work for the team. We've also been working to get all of the leases in place for the Queen's Drive site in Exmouth. That's been quite a popular site over the last couple of years, and we've managed to get all the pictures relet again, and got a new tenant into the bar space down there as well, which has been probably the one bit which hasn't really worked in recent years. So I think we're hoping that with a new operator in there, that might have a new lease of life, and just add a bit more life to the whole site. So that's been really good, and we've managed to get all of those in place in advance of the summer season starting. Community asset transfers remain ongoing. We've got a number of them which are rumbling along at the moment. There's a little overview of them. There's one sort of element on the Norman Lockyer one, which we had anticipated a report coming to AMF, but timescales meant that we didn't get the report to this. So I think the plan is to circulate that round to AMF members just for comment before it then moves to a portfolio holder report from there in terms of whether to invite a formal business case. There's obviously the community asset transfer process is one that having worked through a few of them, we're probably finding it's not perfect, but I think perhaps is one that in accordance with the asset management plan, we can look to try and make it work a little bit better moving forward from there. And then just to finish off with, we've got an item on the overall sort of increase in rental income over the past year, which was 52,154, which is a good return on our overall rent roll, which is around the sort of 1.2 million mark. So it was a good return overall that we've managed to increase our income by. And that's the end of that report. If there's any questions, one happy to try and answer them.
Thank you very much, Rob. So we have some questions coming through. I'll come to you in a second, Charlotte. Bear me a second. So first of all, we have Nick. In order, it will be Nick, Ian, Charlotte, and then Jeff.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Yes, well, thanks to Rob for this really interesting report. Got a couple of points from me. Firstly, delighted that the Redgates industrial units are shortly to come into our ownership. These obviously are really important and very popular and much needed. So let's have plenty of good comms on that, please, and also a fair allocation system. So, you know, it's all open and transparent. Secondly, great news about Queen's Drive. Tenants really pleased about the new bar operator. I think that's a really good move. But my question is related to Queen's Drive and the rowing club. Because we finally got the container, the lifeguards container moved back from Max Rowing Club. How are we getting on with extending the area?
Yes, it's all moving along quite nicely. We've had some very positive discussions with them, and yes, it's basically it's all in hand. The Rowing Club even took time to write in and thank us for the efforts of the team on that one. So yes, we're very nearly there in terms of having everything finalised. But it's all pretty much done, Nick. Yeah.
Great, good. I can finally show my face down there then. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Right. Thank you very much indeed, Chap.
No problem.
Thank you, Nick. Ian, over to you.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Rob, great team, great report. Just wondered with the Redgates in Exmouth, why do we wait until they've all been passed over, everything's been ticked off before we start actually selling them? So that why aren't we ahead? Hold on, I've got two questions. I'm only allowed to ask one. So that's the first thing. So that, you know, again, we just get ahead of the game. So as soon as they're handed over to us, we have a tenant in there, we're making money on them. And the second one is on the 52,154 for last rate that was reported in March. I just wonder, how have we done in the last few months? Are we ahead? Are we gaining any money so far? Thank you.
Yep. So, so in terms of the Redgates units, the answer really is because we don't know exactly when they're going to be, the final completion is going to be, and then obviously we'll have the transfer to effect after that. So it's really difficult to actually nail something down in terms of, yes, you're going to go in. So we've done the soft market exercise. We've got good levels of interest. Once the units are actually complete and the developer have said, right, here they are and they're complete and they're agreed, then obviously there'll be a period where we do the transfer, and obviously we'll have that certainty in that period. So our plan will be to try and get people signed up and things like that during that actual the process of doing the legal transfer, when we've got the certainty as to the units actually being completed and it being within our control as to when we actually get them, if that makes sense. In terms of increases, bear with me just a second.
You can let me know afterwards if it's too much hassle at this time. I was just interested.
Yeah. No, I mean, so yeah, there was...
Rob, what we'll do, Rob,
I'll ping it over.
if you sort of hold that question
That's
in
fine,
abeyance, and then we'll come back to that.
That's fine.
Ollie.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, my question was about the Redgates units as well. I just wondered how many are there of them, and also what kind of businesses do you envisage going into those? I mean, looking at it, it looks, oh yeah, that's the sort of place, you know, make a nice little garage. And then I thought, but we're next to some sheltered housing here, so there may be limitations on what kind of businesses we can have in there. So I just wondered what kind of businesses you envisage having there, and how many there are of them.
Yeah, there's 4 units, so it's only a small development, and in terms of the uses, obviously, at the moment we're looking at it with an open mind, but I think given the demand, we'd want to make sure that what we got in there wasn't going to cause any aggravation to the the adjoining properties and things like that. So I think it'll be a case of sort of filtering out any potential uses that might be disruptive to either adjoining tenants or adjoining residents. But typically we have quite a mix in our industrial estates. All sorts of things from sort of carpet people, joinery people, we have a company that do power washing. We have all sorts of things. So it's kind of I would imagine it'll be those sort of people rather than any sort of dirty or sort of heavy users, if you like, given that they're only fairly small units anyway.
Thank you, Rob. I think it's fair to say no tanneries, no trombone or panel beating.
Yeah.
Jeff. Oh no, my apologies. Charlotte, you were before Jeff. Hello, Charlotte.
Thank you. I have finally found the raise hand button. Too late. Thanks for having me on. A question for Rob, if I may. So at this month's Budleigh Town Council, the issue of Brook Road toilets in Budleigh was raised.
Mm-hmm.
So it was decided in September 22 that they would not be taken over by the Town Council, and they've fallen into disuse since then. And I believe they have sort of been a centre for some sort of unsavoury behaviour. They're also in a very prime position right behind the high street. And there's a bit of parking around them that's actually quite hard to get to because of the building being right in the centre of the small car park. So the Town Council were asking, when are they going to get demolished, basically? And because the obvious solution to them being there is to demolish them and put disabled parking in, so there's more disabled parking for use on the high street. Thank you.
Yeah, so at the moment we're in the process of doing various sort of background things on Brook Road site, with a view to bringing a report forward to members with some options for that whole site in terms of what we could do with it to make it a bit more usable, a bit better, whatever. There'll be various options in that. So yeah, at the moment we're just trying to get the sort of the background bits done in terms of the legalities, the planning, that side of things, as to what might be possible, what might not be, and then obviously bring a report back to members from there. So that's where we are.
Thank you. Do you have a time frame for that?
I don't at the moment, but I would.
Well, I can see Tim is gesticulating. Tim, do you want to come in on this one?
Yeah, thank you. So probably fair to say that we'd been sort of prioritising some of the other sites until recently. So we've now haven't got those sites open. We are now refocusing our efforts on this site, but there's also a site in Exmouth, Jarvis Close. Both sites that we've explored previously and not got anywhere with. The reality is if we are to demolish either or both, then we're going to need capital. So the logical process would be through the BSCAP process this autumn. So I think that gives you a bit of clarity regarding timescale, but you're right. So in terms of that car park, there are different options. One would be to demolish, well, either to reuse the existing building, which is struggling to see a possible use of it. Alternatively, flatten it and convert it to additional car parking. The challenge, though, is that it's a free car park, so there'd be a capital cost of demolishing and be an income that would come from it. Alternatively, and this would be a package of options, would be to look at some kind of disposal. But all of that's been done ready so that we can inform the BSCAP process if indeed we're going to put a capital bid in.
Okay, thank you. Really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Jeff.
Yeah, is this a good opportunity now to have a review of the remaining toilets and lessons learned? And because of unitary council moves coming along, possibility that some town councils may have different views to what they had in 2022.
Thank you. I have discussed this with Tim about lessons learned and moving forwards, especially in the context of the changing face of local government. I can see Tim wants to come back in, and I welcome that. I think that's probably a discussion for Paul and perhaps John and myself and officers in terms of a cabinet discussion on this, and then perhaps that might come out to a wider council one, because obviously things have changed. Tim, do you want to chip in on this?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. So there was a briefing to all members that I did probably about 2-3 weeks ago now. So I think that sort of brings all members sort of up to speed on where we are with the Category A investments, but also the disposals to parish and towns. That element of it all successfully completed on the 31st of March, but also picking up on future budgetary requirements, as well as some of the other sites that we've not been able to secure commercial interest in. So I think building on from that members briefing, I know that Overview Committee have a particular interest in this, and I've been liaising with the chair of Overview Committee to bring something forward, I believe, the middle of July. So I think that will be a good opportunity to look at lessons learnt. I think there are elements of the programme that have been really, really successful. There have been other elements that have been more challenging than expected, particularly around the CAT A investment programme. But we also need to be mindful of the fact that it was only a pilot, so you would expect to learn lessons from it. And there are things that we would do slightly differently moving forward. Having said that, I'm delighted, in fact, to announce to this group that we have, as of this morning at 9 o'clock, opened the Butley Salterton new toilet facilities and changing places facilities, and in about half an hour's time, in fact at 10:30, we're due to open the Lace Walk facilities in Honiton. But yeah, I'm expecting a report or presentation of some kind to come forward to Overview Committee in July, and I suggest that probably the beginning of that process.
Thank you. I was what's the word to use? No, that'll pass. I can't think of the appropriate word that wouldn't upset everyone. Thank you, Tim. So yes, on that basis, we'll perhaps overview. We can consider that, and any members who want to contribute to that, we'd be more than welcome. John, just before I come to you, morning, Sam. Nice to see you. Do you have any declarations of interest to make?
Morning. No, not this time.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Sam. John, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Just something for Tim or Rob. Beer Parish Council Subcommittee on the asset transfer process say they've outlined a business case to EDDC, but they haven't received a clarification since February. Tim, Rob, could you possibly write to the clerk just to clarify that, please?
Absolutely, we'll pick that up and just check what's going on with it, and if they need to just resend it across, then we can ask them to do that. That's fine.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Rob, could you copy me in on that correspondence, please, as well?
Yep, no problem.
Thank you very much indeed. Lovely, thank you. I don't see any other hands raised, so thank you very much, Rob and Tim, for that report on our estates. We now move to agenda item 8, the property and facilities management update, pages 11 to 29 of your report. Now, I've got you down as Rob, but George, are you going to present this, or do you, Rob?
Thank you, Chair. Should me be?
Yeah, lovely. Over to you then. Nice to meet you. Good morning.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is just a property and FM update. Okay, it is the usual report that you are familiar with. The only difference in this report is that I'm trying to rationalize how we take this forward to make it easier all the way around. So I am doing a report every quarter. So, I don't have to basically constantly be updating it. So going forward, we should have a quarterly report. that it will go to whatever forum closest to that quarter. Okay, so that's going forward with the report. The report is the same similar structure. We covered the plan maintenance and compliance, all the work that we've done over the last quarter. That's year 2024, 2025. And then the works that we're planning ahead for the first quarter of 25, 26. We take a similar approach with all the reactive work as well. Okay, what we've been doing in the last quarter and so on. And it is all covered. The report is very simple. The report towards the end, it has where we are with capital works, the projects that we're working on, the projects that have been approved for this new financial year, and it is all over there, very comprehensive. So it's the work that we plan to do this year, and probably it would spell into the next couple of years as well. So that's really the report. Nothing new here, nothing really to sort of approve or anything like that. It's just for information. So if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. Ian, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
George,
sorry.
That's right.
So I know we've touched on the toilets. You say it's going to overview. I thought they looked ahead, but I thought scrutiny would look back to see what we could learn from it. But anyway, £3.3 million we've spent. Is that just for phase one, that amount, or is that for all of the toilets?
No.
And I know in December we said they were going to be complete in February and they were behind schedule. And again, I know you've opened two of them now, which is great. So I presume the new nearly completed and are going to be open soon is probably accurate. I just wondered whether we were too far out of budget on that. The other one is about the Exmouth roof on the tennis courts. I know I got involved in that right at the very beginning. I just wonder, we had quite a few issues, I think, or fixing things and all the rest of it. Are they all done now? Are we happy that what we've got is good?
Thank you.
Okay.
George, just before you come in on that, George, so I think you've gone back an agenda item, Ian, in respect of the toilets. I think that's probably something we can pick up elsewhere. I think George's report is maintenance and plan work. So certainly the tennis roof we can discuss.
Toilets are definitely there, Chair. It's item on page 24. It says the amount, and it says when they're nearly complete. I didn't intervene in the last time because I thought this was the place to bring them up.
No, that's absolutely fine.
It is a capital project. So yeah, and it is something that I'm dealing with. Okay, so in terms of the toilets, the budget was the first question. That 3.1 million, that was what was originally sort of allocated for the 14 toilets that we need to do. Okay, so the phase one is just a fraction of that. At the moment is around 1.5 million. Okay, so that's what we have spent so far. We have also started working on the other projects as well. So we have some designs already that are basically ready to go to planning for a pre-planning sort of advice. So that's the question about the toilet. Okay, is there anything else about the toilet, Ian?
No, other than the question I'm going to ask follow up on that. The 1.5 million you've done 4 or 5 of them now, I think. So that's what about a third. Is that over budget or on budget?
Well, obviously that budget was set 2021, something like that. So there have been a lot of stuff happened since in terms of increasing cost and inflation and so on. Yes, you know, if we're gonna go by that budget, if we don't increase that budget by inflation and so on, yes, we are over budget to a certain extent. However, what I will say is this: the toilets that we have done now, they are the biggest toilets of all. Okay, so the toilets that are left are rather smaller toilets. So I'm hoping that when we get to look into the details of those, we will be able to basically adjust the budget accordingly and be able to deliver quite a lot of the toilets. No doubt we will need a little bit more money. Okay, at this point in time, I don't know what that will be. Okay. In terms of the roof at Exmouth Tennis Centre, that's all done. Okay, we had to revisit the roof. The roof. It was the detailing around the roof lights that kept leaking, and all that work is now being done. And since we've done that work, we haven't had any more complaints about the leaks. So all that is done. We didn't spend all the budget that we had. But there is an item of work that remains, which is there is a gutter in between the main roof that we've done, and there is a textile roof over there covering court 5 and 6, and that gutter sort of leaks all the time. Well, not all the time, but whenever the gutter gets full with debris and all that, and it doesn't drain properly. And we're trying to externalize the drainage over there, which is not easy at all because of the nature of the textile roof, how it is fixed and so on. So we're kind of scratching our heads with that. But we have some budget that we could use to address that issue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Tim, did you want to come back in, or is it being covered?
No, thank you, Chair. It's all been covered by George, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, George. Are there any other questions from members on the report as outlined, on any of the figures, the timings? Obviously, this is a report we get quite often. As George says, it's a quarterly one, so we'll see this quite often. It's just following and tracking it through. Okay, on that basis then, thank you for that, George. Appreciate. Agenda item 7, no, agenda item 9. We now go to Naomi. Good morning, Naomi, for major projects and programme teams update, pages 30 to 32 of your agenda pack. Over to you, Naomi.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. Again, this is just an overview of the work that the major projects team has been doing over the last quarter. It includes projects which are reported to some of our other committees, and working groups, including the depots review and the Exmouth making plan. Over the last quarter, we've had quite a significant focus on our employment space, and so that's both our stalled employment sites, but also trying to move forward projects such as the Crambox project, as well as working to deliver projects that Jeff is very well acquainted with regards to the Clis Meadows Countryside Park. I have noticed a error in the report with regards to the Hayne Lane site at 4.5, which we had an intention of delivering a separate report on this project to this committee, but that will now be delayed to the subsequent meeting as we work through some detail on that project. But very happy to take any questions on any of these projects, and I'll do my best to provide appropriate responses. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Naomi. Obviously, we've talked on several of these during our briefings and portfolio catch-ups. From members present, members outside of forum, are there any questions on the report, pressing you'd like to know about? I can't see any hands. Okay, well, I think that could possibly be the shortest AMF meeting ever. Thank you all for your attendance. I do appreciate that. Thank you to officers for putting it all together. Obviously, if there are any questions afterwards, suddenly spring to mind, either ping them through to me or through to officers, and we'll get those responded to. So that brings our meeting to an end. I'd like to thank everyone today, including any members of the public who are watching this retrospectively, for taking part in our meeting. Can I remind all those present that the supporting officer will confirm that, the meeting's not being streamed anyway. So in which case, please don't swear anyway. Have a lovely day, everyone. Enjoy your day, and I will see you all soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. You must be relieved, aren't you, Chair?